Oh, we got my boy Nighttime Spooks, three true New York horror stories. I ain't been to New York yet, but got plans on going. I really don't want to go. I do want to go, but I don't want to go. They need to fix them rats in that city. And then I go. I don't play that shit. No. Ain't going to lie to you. I don't play that shit. That being said, come on, man. Fuck no. Bullshit. And New York.
This happened several years ago. I took my first ever trip to New York City as a vacation with my best friend Sammy. We flew there, and when we arrived, had a hotel booked right downtown. It was only a 3-day trip, but we were going to try and see as many things as we could in those days. The long day of travel was tiring, but when we made it there, I saw the city for the first time, and I got a second wind. We took a taxi to our hotel and got up to our room on the 5th floor. After we unpacked our things in the room, it was nighttime and Sammy was really tired and wanted to go to sleep. However, I wasn't tired and I wanted to go walk around the city a little bit. I was also really hungry. Sammy went to bed, but I took my hotel key and left to go find something to eat. It was a little bit later at night, but we were in the city that never sleeps, so I didn't think there would be a problem finding something. I left the hotel and walked down the sidewalk a ways. There weren't really many places for food on our street immediately by our hotel, so I went a few more blocks over. It was cool for me to be walking in New York City for the first time, and I kind of just started wandering around. After maybe 10 minutes, I found a place that was open with some pizza, and I got a slice. Then I kept exploring a
Pizza in the
little
morning is
bit.
crazy.
On some streets, there were a decent amount of people out and cars on the street, and others were pretty quiet by now. It all depended on where I went. After maybe 15 more minutes of walking the streets, I decided that I should head back. I took out my phone and put in directions to our hotel, or else I would have no way of knowing how to get back. When I did, I saw that my battery was at 5%. I had forgotten to charge my phone. Hopefully that would be enough for me to get back. I started walking, and my phone said that it would take me about 20 minutes. The sidewalk that I was on was really quiet. I remembered that soon I passed by a dark alley, and when I did, I noticed there was a guy.
Two red flag. If you going out of town, you gotta make sure your phone charged everywhere you go. Damn sure if you walking. You gotta make sure your phone charged, bro.
That was standing up against the building.
And two, why you going by yourself?
He started to walk behind me. It was just us on the sidewalk. I kept walking and then turned where I was supposed to turn, and the guy turned as well. I was sort of worried that he was following me because it seemed obvious. When I turned again, so did he. I would say that he was about 15 feet behind me. I didn't want to turn around and look, and I did my best to just ignore it. My phone was now at 1%, and I still had a ways to go. I tried to memorize the streets just in case my phone died, and I would know where to turn. And just then, the phone died.
Damn.
I was really concerned now. I had some guy following me.
Kind of
my
phone
phone was
you got?
dead,
God
and I
damn.
didn't know how to get back to the hotel. Plus, there wasn't really anybody else out or businesses open in
I
this
think my
direct
damn
area.
iPhone. Cause one thing I can't say about my iPhone, that bitch, when that bitch get 10 and all that, that bitch go real slow until you charge that bitch. I ain't gonna lie, that's how just my phone go. You know what I'm saying? Like when that bitch at 1 or 2 or 3, that bitch gonna take a minute for that bitch to go there. I would have had more than enough time.
I walked a little bit faster, and I sensed the guy behind me doing so as well. I then abruptly turned at the next street, and the guy behind me did the same. I walked down that street for a ways, trying to find a busier area. I thought that I knew the general area of our hotel, but definitely not the exact way. Soon, the man got even closer, and he seemed to be right behind me now. I turned to another street at the next block. The man was still right behind me. Then, I saw a car actually coming down the street. It was a taxi. I darted out into the middle of the road and basically blocked the way of the taxi. It stopped in the middle of the street and honked at me. The man that had been following me was just standing on the sidewalk. I looked over at him for the first time since seeing him in the alley, and he ducked behind a parked car on the side of the road. I asked the taxi driver for a ride, and then I got in. I was able to remember the name of our hotel, and I got a ride back there. Once I was back, I went straight to bed and didn't go out walking at night by myself for the rest of the trip.
I bet you did.
If you don't want to learn how to buy houses legally with $10 and then flip them to...
Stop playing, bro. He's always lying.
I live in New York City, and I'm able to walk to work and back. I don't own a car, and if I have to go far, I just ride my bike. I see hundreds, if not thousands of people every single day. There are a lot of interesting and strange...
That's stuff that I really don't like too. Like, when I be going to Atlanta, like, or you go downtown Atlanta, there's nothing but folks walking. Nothing but folks. Like, I stay in the country part of Georgia, so, like, you go to our downtown, it ain't that many people down there. Like, it ain't like it is in Atlanta, of course. But I don't like how I don't got down. I don't like being around all the motherfucking people.
People that I've seen
I ain't used to
living
it,
here. But last summer, something very bizarre and creepy happened to me. It was a nice summer day, and I was sitting on a bench in the park. I was on a break from work, and would come to this park all the time to sit and relax and sometimes eat. It's a pretty popular park, and there's usually many other people there. On this day, I was just on my phone texting friends and browsing around, just the usual things I would do during my breaks from work. Out of nowhere, I got an airdrop request from somebody else who must have been in the park. It said something like, J iPhone. I accepted the airdrop because I was curious. When I got it, there was a note file. The note said, I am going to break into your apartment. When I read it, I laughed and then looked around. I expected to see somebody else in the park looking at me laughing, or somebody I knew maybe. I didn't see either though. Everybody seemed to be just going about their business. I looked around at everybody in view
I would
for
have joked about that.
There was a lot of people, and there was no way I could know exactly who had sent it. I just went back to what I was doing, and about 5 minutes later, I had to go back to work. Throughout the rest of the day, I forgot about everything. I went home later, back to my apartment. I lived in a somewhat old apartment in New York City. It was small, and not the nicest place, but it's all I could afford. Apartments are very expensive here. I made it work for me though, and overall didn't have any complaints. That night, I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth. I suddenly heard the door to my apartment opening. I was really confused at first. I was sure that I had locked the door, but had I forgotten? Then, suddenly, I remembered the airdropped note that I had received earlier in the day. Could it have been true? Was there somebody who had been planning to break into my apartment? I quickly shut my bathroom door and locked it. My bathroom was located in a small hallway right across from my bedroom. The rest of the apartment was just my living room and kitchen and a small closet. I thought about asking who was there, but I decided not to. I heard whoever was in there walk inside. They went into the kitchen area and then closer to me. I knew that I needed to call the police, but I didn't have my phone. I had left it in my bedroom. I heard the person walk into my bedroom, and that's when I really started panicking. I knew they would likely try the bathroom next. But whoever was in there just walked back into the living room then, and then left my apartment. I was really confused. I slowly left the bathroom.
As a grown ass man, why you letting another man walk through your house and you sitting in the bed like you're a bitch? You gotta be one of the most dumbest motherfuckers I ever seen somebody story tell. You know what I'm saying? Your story, like, I've Reddit. Like, the videos I be reading to Mr. Ball and Mr. Nightmare and all them. Yeah, you gotta be the most stupidest motherfucker.
Went into my bedroom.
I ain't gonna
lie. He was still there.
He could have killed your ass.
I went to my door and found it open. I closed the front door, locked it, and then called the police. Whoever had broken
now you want to get up.
was pretty easily able to get around my lock. My apartment was old and outdated, and it wasn't too hard for people to break in if they really knew what they were doing. I went to the landlord and told him about the incident, and I also intended to move out immediately. Thankfully, I was able to find a new place the next week.
Damn.
I really don't know who broke in though, and why. Also, why would they tell me they were going to do it? My only thought is that they're just a really strange person.
They would have told me, I would have been right with that motherfucking Drake. Wait them nigga ass. Come on.
This happened about 5 months ago. I travel quite a bit for my job, and I happen to travel to New York City. I go there sort of frequently for work, and I usually stay in one of a few different hotels. Obviously, there are countless hotels in New York City, and many other people staying there, so I'm not always able to get the same one. I decided that I would stay at one in particular that I'd been to 2 times before. I won't mention the name, but it's relatively nice. It's not a 5-star, but it's pretty good. After flying to New York, getting from the airport to the city in a taxi, and then to my hotel, I finally had arrived. It was nighttime, and I was just going to go to bed and get some rest. When I got my keys, I went up to my room. Then I took a shower, got on some comfortable clothes, and turned out all the lights. I got in bed and closed my eyes. When things were completely silent, I started hearing noises though. At first, I figured it was nothing, but the longer I laid there, the more I just had a bad feeling, like I wasn't alone. I had thought that I was maybe hearing the air conditioner, but it just didn't quite sound like that.
Look
I
around.
was laying with my eyes closed, but was unable to fall asleep. I started to feel more and more paranoid the longer I was laying there. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore, and I sat up and looked around. It was silent, and I didn't hear anything for the entire time I was looking around. But then, I looked on the ground between my bed and the window where the air conditioner was below it. Halfway under the bed, but sticking out, I saw what looked like a person. The gap between the bed and the wall was only a couple of feet, but it was clear that there was somebody hiding under there. When I saw them, I yelled. I couldn't help it. The person then suddenly got up and looked right at me for a brief second before running out of the room. The room was completely dark, but I did get a pretty decent look at the person's face for that 1 second. It was a man with hair down to his shoulders, and after running out, he shut the door and was completely out in the hallway. I got up and locked the door, then called the front desk. I told them that there had been some random guy hiding in my room. Employees came up to my room and the police were called to the scene. I just wanted to get some rest after that, and they offered me a nicer room, which I took. They assured me that nobody would be hiding in that room, or able to get in, and they said that nothing like that had ever happened before. The man was seemingly able to escape the hotel, though, without being seen. My new room was 2 floors up, and I was finally able to get some sleep more than an hour after I had originally wanted to. After getting in my new room, I checked around, even though the staff already had. I just wanted to be safe, and I looked out the window at the view I had before going to bed. It was a great view of the city, and I looked down to the sidewalk. I noticed that there was one man standing across the street, and he was looking right up at me. When I looked closer, I saw that it was the same guy that had been in my room. He appeared to smile, and then walked off quickly. There was nothing I could do. By the time I would tell somebody, he would be long gone. I tried to forget it all, and I went to sleep. The rest of my trip was fine, but I will never forget that creepy experience.
I ain't gonna lie. That person in that sex store was done, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, bro, bro, dad let somebody came in his house, walked in his bedroom, and walked out. After they told him that they were gonna rock. Man, come on, man. Some of these people, these stores, just gonna have to make some type of sense. Or I just believe they be want to die at this point. They just be want to die. Anyway, man, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe. See y'all motherfuckers on the next video. Let's ride, shawty.